So, quiz 5, my favorite student. Probably want your yellow formula sheet and your calculator. Oh, no, wait a minute, I gave you the formulas up here. Okay. A truck parked down a slope slips its brake and starts to coast downhill from rest. I would probably underline the word from rest, at least mentally I would make a note of that. Constant acceleration of 0.7. How fast will the truck be moving after 6 seconds? Here, they're asking me to find V final. What do I know? Well, time is 6, A is 0.7. What else do I know? What's VI? So, you know what? I can actually just use VF equals VI plus AT, and I've got the VF by itself already. That's kind of nice. It's going to be 0 plus 0.7 times 6. Is the answer 4.2 meters per second? Okay, so if you got 4.2, 2 out of 2. Otherwise, I would probably give you something like a half mark for the correct equation, a half mark for the plug and chug, and then 1 mark for the answer. How far will the truck coast during the 6 seconds? You too? No quiz? Guys, you're setting yourself up for some ugliness. Now they want me to find a distance. I think I can use D equals VIT plus a half AT squared. As a matter of fact, since VI is 0, it's just going to be a half. Is that someone at the door? No. A half times A times 6 squared. Do that one in your head, Mr. Dueck. Okay, 6 squared is 36. Half of that is 18. 0.7 times 18. Well, 7 times 18 would be 70. It would be 120. 12.6? Yeah? Units? Meters, distance, right? Hopefully you're cluing in why I said it's worth memorizing what units go with what. It really cuts down on mistakes. A motorbike accelerates at a constant rate from a standing start. You know what? I think that's telling me at rest again. After 1.8 seconds, it's traveling 7 meters. How much time will have elapsed, starting from rest, before the bike is moving with a velocity of... Ooh, they want me to find time. Well, I guess... By the way, how many marks is this one worth? 3 suggests maybe an extra step involved. Maybe it's a 2-step problem. V final is 6. V initial, I guess, is 0, although there's a 7 in there too. I'm not sure. I'll go VI is 0. Do I know the distance? No. Do I know the acceleration? No. Hey, I think if I could find that, then I could say VF minus VI over A. VF equals VI plus AT, get the T by itself. So I'm going to draw the line here, and I'm going to say maybe I can find the acceleration. Well, I know VI is 0. Now, they gave me this time here as well. Maybe I can use time of 1.8, and after 1.8 seconds, I can use a V final of 7. Maybe I can find the acceleration. I see Riley nodding, saying, yeah, you can, Mr. Dueck. Good, 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 good. It's going to be VF equals VI plus AT, but A equals... Oscar, how would I get the A by itself here?
Divide.
Divide by what?
T?
Just give me the variables, first of all. What's my new equation going to be?
A equals...
Got that part. Thank you, Captain Obvious. That's going to drop down like a domino.
A equals VF plus VI AT.
A equals VF plus VI AT. Got 2 A's now? Okay, so you ready? This is why you want to do the quizzes. I'm going to pick on you because you haven't done the quizzes. You ready? Where's the A, left side or right side? Where's the A in this equation? Left side or right side?
Right.
See it right there? See it? What else is next to it?
T.
What's the T doing to the A?
Times.
So what will I do with the T to move it over? Divide. Later. What else is on this side?
VI.
What's the VI doing to the A?
Adding.
How will I move it over?
Subtract.
So it's going to be the VF drops down like a domino. What am I going to do with the VI?
Minus.
What am I going to do with the T?
Divide.
The whole thing. Okay? Folks, if you can't do that, you're in trouble next week. So you need to come in after school for help or start doing the homework or something. It's going to be 7 minus nothing all over 1.8. Throw that one in your head. A little tougher. I guess I didn't need to go minus 0. Divided by 1.8, and I get an acceleration of 3.888888. I'll go 3.89. And I'm going to take this, put it right there. I'm looking for the equation that has those in it. Once again, Oscar, my friend, it's going to be VF equals VI plus AT. But this time, my friend, we're trying to get the T by itself. See it, see it, see it, see it, see it? How am I going to get the T by itself? What's next to the T?
A.
How will I move that over?
Divide.
Yeah, later. What else is on the same side as the T?
VI.
How will I move it over?
Subtract.
So can you dictate to me? Can you say T equals, what's going to drop down?
VI.
Yes. Keep going.
Minus.
Yes.
A.
Did you say we're going to subtract the A?
VI.
How do you know we're not subtracting? What's the A? By the way, this is why I keep saying, go find the T. What's the A doing to the T? Times it. What's the opposite? Dividing. You can actually, it tells you what to do. There is kind of a breadcrumb approach to this where you can follow the steps, right? Did you say VI over A? Is that what you're saying? Nod and look intelligent. Well, at least you got the nod. Okay, it's going to be 16 minus nothing divided by 3.88888889. You know what? I'm going to go like this. 16 minus 0 divided by answer button. That is the 3.88888888. That's why I yelled at you guys about getting a good calculator. Do we get, I hope a time of, 16 even? That's not right. What happened there? Oh, good gosh, Dueck. Okay, let's bring my answer button back. I butchered the brackets. I butchered the brackets. It should be bracket 16 minus 0, close bracket, divided by, because there's more than one number on the top, right? Yeah? Should get 4.114, blah, blah, 4.1 units. Oh. Okay. I would give you, for this question, 1 mark if you found the acceleration. I would probably give you 1 mark if I saw the T equals equation, 1 mark for the answer. I like this question. I like this question. I like this question. I like this question. Definitely you can expect next week to see some 2-step questions where you have to find something just in order to find something. Number 3, an aircraft starts from rest. You know what? That's probably important, from rest. Accelerates at a constant rate down the runway. After 12 seconds, its velocity is 48 meters per second. What's its acceleration? They want me to find A. Looks like time is 12. V final is 48. 4.8, Mr. Dueck? 48. Oh, and V initial from rest is 0. I'm looking for an equation that has AT, VF, and VI in it. There is one. Yeah. Thomas, which equation, my friend? By the way, I'm seeing about 8 of you haven't done the take-home quiz, and I don't have time to just postpone this. You're going to be in trouble.
Is it VF equals VI plus AT?
Can you get the A by itself for me? I'll give you a hint. What's going to drop down like a domino?
VI.
Yes.
So it's minus
Yep.
VI
Yep.
divided by T.
Yep. Did you do that in your head, or did you do that by looking up right here?
I did it with my hand.
Good. because it was right there. Were you going to raise a question, or are you going to answer my question? Yeah, it's going to be 48 minus 0 over 12. What's 48 take away 0? 48 take away 0 is 0? How about 48 divided by, you know what, this one works out evenly. 4.0 meters per second squared. Yeah? About a half a G. Because 1 G is 9.8. 4 is almost half of 9.8. Not quite. A little more. A little less, actually. How fast is the plane moving after 16 seconds? Okay. Oh, by the way, I'd give you 1 mark if I saw that. Half mark for the plug and chug. Half mark for the answers. If you forget units, I take a half mark off. But that's how you get your 2 marks. But also, Max, if you got the right answer, I'll give you 2 out of 2. I usually look there first, and then I say, let's go look for part marks. How fast is the plane? That's a V final. I think I can go straight with that. 0 plus A. Oh, I just figured it out. 4 times T. 64 meters per second? So that gets you 2 out of 2. Now, if you got A wrong, but you put that, whatever answer you got for part A, you dropped it down and you put it right there, I'll give you full marks. If you went 0 plus whatever answer you got from part A times 16 and you did that correctly, I'll give you 2 out of 2 for part B. And the message I have for you, Cam, if it's a 2-part question and you can't find the first part, don't leave part B blank. Write a little note to me, Mr. Dueck. I can't find the acceleration. I'm going to assume the acceleration is 6. And I'll show you I can do the rest. I'll give you full marks for part B. Never, ever leave a whole question blank. Okay? How far down the runway will the plane be after, oh, not 16 seconds, 15 seconds. So I guess they want me to find a D. I know VI is 0. I know T is 15. And I know A is 4. You know what? I can use D equals VIT plus a half AT squared. As a matter of fact, VIT is going to be 0. That's very convenient. It's going to be a half A 15 squared. Do that one in your head, Mr. Okay, 15 squared is 225. Half of 4 is 2. Is the answer going to be 450? Okay. 450 meters. So 2 marks for each of those. Again, usually I give you 1 mark if you get the correct equation, half mark for the numbers, and then a half mark for the answer. And then we turn the page. What is the rate of acceleration of a mountain bike? Oh, they want me to find A. Definitely the time is 3.25 seconds. What's VI? Yeah. What's VF? Am I speeding up or slowing down? Am I expecting a negative or a positive answer? If I get a negative answer, I'll smile and say, you know what? The universe is telling me I've done it right. I'm decelerating. I'm looking for an equation that has AT, VI, and VF in it. Can you get the A by itself for me? Nice. It's going to be 0, take away 15, all over 3.25. Is there more than one number on the top? Yes. I'm going to have to put it in brackets. 0 minus 15. Or you could just type a negative 15 on the top. 10. I don't know. I'm using the 10 minus 15. There we go. I'm starting at rest for some reason. It's going to be 10 minus 15, or negative 5 in your head, divided by 3.25. And I get negative 1.538. How about negative, how many sig figs? I guess 3 sig figs, technically. Negative 1.54. Justin, you going to make it? You going to make it? Is that bracelet helping you stay awake? No. Okay. Again, 1 mark for that. Half mark. Half mark. Is that right? Negative 1.54 meters per second squared? Half off for the units, if you missed that. Half off for the negative, if you missed that. Police officer traveling at 60 kilometers per hour, which is about 16.7 meters per second, spots a speeder ahead. Check. So she accelerates her vehicle at 3.44 for 5 seconds, at which time she catches up. How fast? Okay, you know what? What's this question asking me to find? VF, where VI is 16.7, A equals 3.44, T equals 5. Oh, you know, I have an equation that has the VF by itself already. It's going to be 16.7 plus 3.44 times 5. It's going to be 16.7 plus 3.44 times 5. Do you get 33.9? Meters per second. 2 marks. Again, 1 mark for the equation, half mark for the numbers, half mark for the answer. Sorry?
No, he got 33.2.
I'm guessing you typed wrong. What'd you get?
33.
33.2?
Yeah. I wrote down 16 instead of 16.
Oh, well, there you go. I was just trying to see if I could figure out your error. It's almost always a calculator glitch. Have I gone on a rant about why it's helpful to have a good calculator, Kyle? More than once. How far? Oh, now they want me to find the distance. How about, does that work? I know the acceleration. I know VI. Yeah, that works. This time VI is not 0. It's going to be 16.7 times 5 plus a half A, 3.44. So I'd give you, by the way, 1.5 on your question there. T. Did you write it down on the right on the next question? On part B? Did you do it right? Did you write it down correctly on the next question for part B?
Yeah.
A half M. Thank you. And a 344. The decimal, what's happening to my decimal point? One more reason why it's helpful to have a good calculator. Lets you backspace and edit. And at the end, I can see things on more than one line and double check. Do you get 126.5? I'll take that. Technically, how many sig figs should I go to in this question? How many sig figs here? 3. How many here? 3. How many here? 3. You know what? Technically, I should probably go, but I'll certainly take 126.5. Motorbike traveling 20 meters per second collides with a haystack and is brought to rest in a distance of 5.7. What's the average acceleration? By the way, the fact that I haven't yet used VF squared equals VI squared plus 2AD, I'm already suspecting maybe on this last question I'm going to use it. Otherwise, why would you have given that to me? But maybe not. Noah, what are they asking me to find here?
The average acceleration.
A equals question mark. Okay, Noah, what else do I know? What's that 20?
Time, VI.
Okay, you've given me 3. Which one is it?
VI.
How do you know for sure without having to think so hard? What's right next to the 20? Meters per, which is always a measure of velocity. So you just have to figure out whether it's the start or the end velocity. Have you memorized the units? If you haven't, you really want to. Okay, I agree. VI equals 20. What's that 5.7? Hey, how do you know? And what are the units next to the 5.7? Okay. There's one more thing. Do you see it? Yep. By the way, Noah, looking at this question, are we slowing down or speeding up? So am I expecting a negative or a positive acceleration? So if I get a negative, I'll smile and be happy. Noah, my friend, I'm looking for an equation that has acceleration, VI, D, and VF in it. You have the quiz that I gave you, or a formula sheet? Hey, that's one way of following along. Do you say T? And by the way, I'm glad you did that because that's the process of elimination. So nope, can't be that. By the way, I might be able to find T, I don't know, but I'm not going to waste my time finding something if I don't need to. Keep going. Yeah! What do I want to get by itself? It's right there. What else is on the same side as the A? VI squared, how will I move that over? Yep, so the VF squared drops down like a domino. I'm going to subtract a VI squared, you said? I agree. What else is on the same side as the A? A D. How will I move those guys over? Yep, you see kind of this bread, and again, it does kind of tell you what to do. I agree. Is it okay? I'm going to put the A on the left because that's where we're used to seeing the thing by itself. Nice. It's going to be, don't just copy these out. You need to try these yourself, kiddo. Okay? VF 0 squared minus VI 20 squared all over 2 times 5.7. Noah, is there more than one number on the top? Is there more than one number on the bottom? So what will I need to put around the top? And around the bottom? Got your calculator here? Good. Solve this one. Practice with your calculator. Bah! No? Jordan? At all? Justin. I did Jordan. Justin, a little more awake now? I got a YouTube comment on the weekend from one of my Physics 12 videos. Someone just wrote, boy, at 21:25, you scared me to death, and I was wearing headphones too. So I replied back to them, yeah, but I bet you're awake for the rest of the lesson, right? I don't know. I don't know where it was from, somewhere on the planet. Negative 1.75? So you said? Let's see. 0 squared minus 20 squared, close bracket, right? Divided by open bracket, 2 times 5.7. Ooh, I'm getting that. So don't clear your calculator. Let me look. Negative 35.1. Is this person dead? No, seriously. How many G's is this? Now, how can we take an acceleration and change it to G's? What's 1 G? So if I divide by 9.8, this person is experiencing about 3.6, negative because they're slowing down, 3.6 Gs. They're going to be okay. Your body can handle, in fact, on a good amusement park ride, you hit about 3.5. On a couple of them, you'll hit 4 Gs.
What kind of damage would be done?
What kind of damage would be done? The bones would not break with this, okay? Skull damage would not occur, and probably not a concussion. The damage would be road rash. But it probably, if he's a motorbike rider, he's probably wearing a leather, and this is why you wear leathers, right? You want you wear an exoskin, not an exoskeleton, but you wear an exoskin. You want that skin to peel off on the road, not yours. But in terms of physical damage, I think this person would be okay. You know, they I suspect, be able to walk after the crash. Wouldn't like it. They'd be bruised. Now, it all depends, because they might, for example, hit one finger first right into, and the finger might bend over and snap. Okay, because parts of you are more fragile than the other. But basically, I think the main bones would be okay. Would be okay. Football players endure more than this on a good tackle. So, but again, can you break a rib playing football? Yeah. Can you give yourself, to answer your question, okay? Can you give yourself a score, please, out of 21? If you didn't do it, you're going to take a temporary 0. Wait a couple of days and try it yourself. So continuing on, we're going to finish off lesson on Freefall, and then I have a big review package for you to work on as well. And then we have one more lesson. If you look, I have in my notes lesson 7. And then the only thing I have is lesson 8. Oh, and I have some homework and some take-home quizzes, lots of them. So you've just got quiz. You've done quiz 5. I gave you quiz 6 today. I got quiz 7. Where's quiz 8? I don't know. I think I didn't like it. And a quiz 9. So right now, tentatively, your test next week, Wednesday, I think. A ball is tossed vertically upwards. If it leaves the hand 1.2 meters above the ground with a velocity of 39 meters per second, find A, the maximum height reached above the ground. Okay, I can do this. What does A want me to find? Maximum height. What variable have we been using for height? Distance. By the way, you may want your formula sheet out. I don't know. Unless you have these memorized. Okay. What else do I know here? Acceleration. What's the acceleration? As soon as it leaves my hand, it's at negative 9.8. Good, Carson. What else do I know? So I should help you visualize the question. So we're throwing something, and specifically we're talking about right there where it starts to leave my hand. Okay? Because I'm apparently 1.2 meters above the ground already. Spence, what'd you say? Oh, what's VI?
0.
If I do this with an initial velocity of 0, I don't think it's going up. I don't think I can throw something with an initial velocity of 0. Sorry, but what? At the top, for a split second, how fast is it traveling?
0.
Okay, so I'll give you V final is 0, only because it says maximum height, right? Which implies the word top.
Yeah, 39.
VI is 39. Yeah, I thought I made it pretty obvious. Sure. VI, it leaves my hand with 39 meters per second. VI is 39. So I'm looking for an equation that has dA, VF, and VI in it. VF squared with VI squared with... You be right.
VI squared plus 280.
Can you get the A by itself?
VI squared, subtract VI squared.
Oh, getting the D by itself. Sorry. Whoops. Thank you, Danielle.
By, 2
Sorry?
divided by 2.
It's going to be 0 squared minus 39 squared all over 2 times negative 9.8. I strongly, 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 strongly encourage you practice typing these into your calculator. More than one number on the top, brackets. More than one number on the bottom, brackets. No, I'm going to come and look over your shoulder. 0 squared minus 39 squared divided by 2 times negative 9.8. Do you get 77.6? This is wrong. No, this is just wrong though, because we're being obscure. What? Because I asked the maximum height above the ground, and we released it 1.2 meters above the ground. Now, I'm not going to cheap this one on you on a test like this, but in real life, I do want to point out that most of the time, we don't lay down on the ground and throw things from the ground. We throw things standing up. But from now on, we're always going to pretend that we're throwing them from the ground, because I don't want to always have to say, oh, by the way, if you're launching from a cannon, the cannon probably had a height, and so when I say find how high, we're just going to ignore that from now on. But Max, I will point out that technically, put a little arrow like that so you know where the 1.2 came from. Technically, the height is 78.8. You okay with that, Kyle? Yeah? Technically. So I like example A. I like this question. I like this question. I like it, except for the cheap part of saying, oh, add the height off the ground first. Okay? But I will absolutely give you some kind of a free fall question where we throw something straight up, and I say, how high? Or I say, well, what's B asking me to find? How long? Do I have all the data listed in the question above? Okay, I'm not going to read EFIC. I'm looking for an equation. Got to have T in it. And then at A, VF, and VI. I can use one that has D if I need to, but Justin, got your name right, I'm a good test writer if a bad namesayer, and so I'm going to try and avoid using the D if I can. Is there an equation that has T, A, VF, and VI in it, my friend? Oh, I got him to get his formula sheet out. Excellent. Demonstrating that that power band is working after all. So has to have T in it, and then A, VF, and VI. No, you can't say D because I don't want to use the D. So it's got to have a T in it, an A, a VF, and a VI. Do you see it, my friend? Yes. Okay, now, ready? See it, see it, see it? Look at it, look at it, look at it. We're going to get the T by itself. Ready? I'm going to give you a hint. T equals. Where is the T in that equation right now? Look at it. No, no, look at it. Keep looking at it. I'm dead serious. Sorry? Left side or right side? Right? Okay, so what's on the left right now? That's going to drop down like a domino, and I'm going to move everything to that side. What else is on the same side as the T? What's the A doing? Adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? It's adding. It says A plus T. Times in. Okay, I'm going to divide later. What else on the same side as the T? No, there's something else there. There's something in front of the AT. Okay, what's the VI doing to the AT? How will I move it over? What's the opposite of plussing? Okay, so it's going to be minus, right? VI, and then divide by what? See the T? Yes. Yes. Okay. What'd you say, VF? What's VF? We got it listed here now. Sorry? What's VF? Yes. Minus. What's VI? Yep. Over. What's A? Good. Try this. More than one number on the top, brackets. Oh, come on. By the way, time, scalar or vector? It's a scalar, so I'm expecting a positive or negative answer. And the nice thing is I do get a positive answer, which suggests I did this right. You get 3.98 seconds. Well, that's not quite right. That's how long it takes for it to get back down to your hand. So up here, cross out the word ground and put the word hand. Right here. Because technically it falls an extra 1.2 meters, which would add a couple of tenths of a second. And I could calculate that and crunch it, but I'm going to say, forget it. Oh, hang on. That's part B. That's okay. So part B, time to reach maximum height, that's okay. Sorry. Part C is the part where I have the hand issue, right? It says time to fall back to the hand from the maximum height. Now, if I just ask you time to fall back from the hand, the answer to part C would be 3.98 seconds. However, I take this back. Sorry, guys. I want to do the ground. Oh, you hate me now. It's on vibrate. That's okay, whoever that is, although you're not that important. Ground. Time to fall back to the ground. What's C asking me to find? Time. What else do I know? Are we in free fall? Oh, okay, so I know A. What? Okay. What else do I know? I know initial velocity. What's the initial velocity? I disagree. If we're going to start from the top now, from the top, what's my initial velocity, Thomas?
0.
Nice. Now, if Jordan, if this question had said back to the hand, then the final velocity would be negative 39, but it says ground. It's going to be going a little bit faster. I don't know V final. Is that okay? Ah, but you know what? I know that. Careful, it's not 78.8. I'm being fussy. No. Not 77.6 either. Are we ending up above or below from where we started? So? Now, here's the nice thing. Sorry, negative 78.8. That's obscure, and you might have missed it. The good thing is there is going to be, in just a second, a little bit of a built-in error check. And I'll show you where it appears. First of all, I'm looking for an equation that's got T and A and VI and D in it. There is one. Which one? Sure, Jordan, which one? And in this case, now this is, by the way, this one and the squared one, the VF squared equals VI squared plus 2, are the two most complicated ones. But this one's actually even more complicated because it's got T's in two locations, which is why you'll notice this one I almost always write out. I don't try doing in my head initially. But this is a nicer version because one of these things is 0. What's 0? Which means really this equation modifies into D equals AT squared over 2. Cade, where'd the half go? Do you see it? Divided by 2. Why do you write it that way? By the way, I know you said 0.5. Why did I write it this way? It's cleaner. It's cleaner. I have no problem if you write a 0.5 there. None whatsoever, and you'll still get the right answer. You'll end up dividing by 0.5, and that's all good. What are we trying to find? Time. How would I get the T by itself? Sitting right there, okay? How will I move the A over? First of all, is there any adding or subtracting? Because you always take care of that first. It's reverse BEDMAS. Any adding or subtracting? No. Okay. What am I going to do with the A? What's the A doing to the T? Timesing. So how will I do? What will I do with it? Divide. What will I do with the T? Sorry, T. What do I do with the 2 there? The 2 that's on the bottom there. What's it doing? Dividing. How do we move it over? Times. So I'm going to get this. The D drops down like a domino. There's going to be a 2 and an over A. And then Spencer has been dying to say how to get rid of a squared. Okay. We're going to get T equals the square root of 2 times negative 78.8 all over. Now, this is why I said there is a built-in error check. Remember, none of us spotted that the displacement was negative? If you didn't put the negative in front of the 78.8, you would go like this. 2 times 78.8 divided by negative 9.8. And then when you tried to square root that, you get an error. Devin, that's the universe saying, I'm sorry, you're asking me to do something impossible. Go check your data. Or it may be you've typed something wonky on your calculator, but often it's again, the universe is saying, I'm sorry, I can't do the physics you're asking. Usually the most common error, Amelia, you missed a negative somewhere. Go check. Oh, go to, let's try it again. 2 times negative 78.8 divided by negative 9.8. So it took 3.98 seconds to go to the top. But to come back down and hit the ground, it took 4.01 seconds. I guess to fall that final 1.2 meters took 0.03 seconds, 3/100th of a second. Yeah. D. There is a part D, yes? Kyle, what's D want me to find, kiddo? There is a D in there, I think. The velocity, okay, VF, as it falls back to Earth, when? Keep reading.
From which it was released.
I think you're right.
VI equals 0.
VI, you can calculate this, VI equals 0, but there's an easier way. If you throw something straight up, do you know how fast it's going when it comes back to its starting point, which is what I said, where it was released? Negative V initial. In fact, we have a saying. As long as you're starting and ending on the same height, I'm sorry, it's going to be a down, so you have to include a negative. It's a vector. But I'm telling you, if it's at the same height at any one point, it's going exactly the same velocity, but in the opposite direction. In fact, 1 meter above my hand, if I could somehow had a radar gun and calculated the speed, and on the way down 1 meter above my hand, those two numbers would be the same, but opposite. Same magnitude, different direction. So I could calculate it, or I can just do it intuitively. Is that okay? A couple more. Let's throw something downwards over a cliff. Let's throw something downwards over a cliff. Stuff we'd like to do that often we can't do for safety or there's no nearby cliff. But we like throwing stuff off of high spaces. Find A, the maximum velocity obtained by the ball. B, the time for the ball to hit the bottom. C, if the speed of sound is 330 meters per second, how long will it take for the sound of the impact on the ground to make it back to the top of the cliff if we start timing from when the ball is thrown? Okay, let's tuck that aside for a second. Hey Nick, what's A asking me to find? When is the maximum velocity? Yeah, right, at impact. Yeah, and again, when we're talking about something hitting the ground, V final is not 0. That's after it hits the ground. When I talk about V final, I mean V impact. So, what else do we know? Oh, what's A? Negative 9.8? Sure. What else do we know? D? What's D? Nope. Why? Are we ending up above or below from where we started? Negative 120. Makes a difference. Otherwise, stuff will get wonky answers. What else do I know? What's VI? Careful. Huh? Negative 32. Can you say that with authority in your voice, like you're certain? Since I underlined the word downwards and you understand vectors, so instead of saying negative 32, can you say negative 32? Give me a negative 32. Okay. I'm looking for an equation. Has to have VF in it. And it's got to have AD and VI.
VF squared equals VI squared plus 280.
Although technically this doesn't give us VF, it gives us VF squared. Hey Spencer, how to get rid of a squared? So scribble out the squared and put a great big square root over on the right hand. Square root everything. And you don't do it separately. You do the whole right hand side, square root the answer. So it's going to be great big square root. Negative 32 squared plus 2 negative 9.8 negative 120. I would type in what's inside the square root. I would then hit equals, square root my answer button. Try this on your calculator. This is an important one for all of you to try, because it's possible to make a very subtle mistake depending on how your calculator works. Forgot the times. Inside the square root, you should get 3,376. And if you don't, you want to call me, because there's something very subtle that your calculator expects you to do that some calculators don't. So try typing this in. If you square root, you should end up with 58.1. So I got 58.1, and this is wrong. Why is this wrong? What? What direction are we traveling at impact? Now, you ready? This equation, VF squared equals VI squared plus 280, is a great equation. However, some teachers don't teach it, and I know why. It's because, Riley, when you square root, you lose a vector along the way. You have to add the vector afterwards. It doesn't necessarily give you the correct direction. It's handy, but it's a scalar equation. In fact, that's why often you'll see when I write it, I don't put the vector symbols on stuff, because I know I'm going to get a scalar answer often. Okay. B. Amy, what's B want me to find? Oh, T. I have everything up there. I'm not going to read defix. So I'm looking for an equation that has A, D, VI, and T in it. Oh, and it could have VF. What equation? Sure, Colin. Oh, that was a stretch? I'm sorry. I thought that was a hand up. Although if you were good, you'd be able to rattle it off to me anyways off the cuff. Which equation? Has T, A, D, and VI in it.
D equals VI, T equals half AT.
Carson is correct, but put your pencils down. Don't write this down. Don't write this down. This is correct. And if you plugged stuff, what are we trying to get by itself? Now here's the problem. How many T's are there on the right-hand side? 2. 2. Up until now, I've been very careful. If we've been using this equation to find time, we've always been able to do that. In which case, how many T's are there now? 1. When there's 2, we got a problem. In fact, you can't get the T by itself. Don't write this down. You could plug and chug. You could say negative 120 equals negative 32t, and then minus 4.9 t squared. I did a half of negative 9.8 in my head, sorry. Hey, grade 12s, and maybe grade 11s, but grade 12s, what kind of an equation is this? Because it has a squared. What kind of an equation is this? Begins with the letter Q. It's a quadratic. It's a quadratic. Grade 11s, have you guys done quadratic equations yet? Have you learned the quadratic formula, x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a in your math classes? I can't assume that you have, Colin. And so, although this is the equation as a Math 12 nerd that I might go with, especially because I have a quadratic solver on my calculator, in this situation, I'm going to say, pick up your pencils. Oh, you know what? Write this down. Write d equals vit plus a half a t squared, and then draw a line through it. And you can write the word can't solve yet. Now, maybe you can. Who has done the quadratic formula in Math 11 already? The whole x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So if you're looking at me blankly, you haven't done it yet. There is a cool formula, and it's neat, but you don't have it yet. So, you know what? This is the one time I have to use this value. I have to use VF. I'm looking for an equation that has A, D, VI, VF must have T. Yeah. I can actually, yeah, which turns out to be easier. Or if you get the T by itself, G equals what? Jordan? VF negative 58.1. Now, here's the problem with this. If you didn't catch that negative in the previous question, if you didn't add the negative in, you're getting the wrong time now. Sorry. Minus, what was VI? Negative 32 all over negative 9.8. Please tell me I get a positive time, I hope. Type this in. Worth the practice. You get 2.66 seconds, I hope? Yeah? C. Natalia, what's C asking me to find? Now, I know it goes on a long rant, speed is, but what's it asking me to find? Time. Okay. Okay. We're not talking about the projectile anymore, what we're dropping or throwing. So I'm not going to be using the VF and the VI of 58 and 30. I'm not going to use those. Oh, but I do know the displacement or the distance. Mr. Dueck, why didn't you put negative 120? Where is the sound starting from? The bottom. Where is it ending up? Above or below from where it started? Above. Okay. Now, you ready? Little trivia for you. Sound has no acceleration. It hits full speed right away. Which means its initial and its final velocity are 330 meters per second. Doesn't take sound any time to get up to speed.
Why, Mr. Dueck?
It has to do with wave propagation properties, and that's another show. So, can you give me an equation I could go with here? You know what? The one that I crossed out above.
Wait a minute, Mr. Dueck.
I thought you said this one we couldn't find t because there was more than one t. Well, we can find it if we can cross a term out. What's 0 in this case? This whole mess vanishes. How could I get the t by itself here? More specific. What equals what? T equals what? D over VI. There, new equation, not on your formula sheet. 120 divided by 330. 333, Mr. Dueck? 330. And by the way, that is the speed of sound. It varies a bit depending on temperature and humidity and altitude, but it's around 330 meters per second, give or take. 120 divided by 330. You would notice a small gap. You would see a puff of dust. So it would be, hits the ground. That's probably a little faster than that. Hits the ground, about that fast. But you would notice a gap. Now, that's how long it takes the sound to get back to the top, 0.3636. That's not what the question asked. Natalia, let's come back to you. What time did the question want me to find? From when? Find the time back to the top. From when? Oh, so I'm going to have to add the time going down because apparently I started my stopwatch when I threw it and stopped it when the sound got back to me. So is going to be 0.3636 plus, we found time, didn't we? Oh yeah, 2.66. Heck, I have it right here, 2.66326530.6. There. And I get around 3.03 seconds. Okay. Turn the page. But I'm going to give you some homework to work on. So you have a take-home quiz. So I didn't photocopy the homework package like a complete meathead. I'll photocopy it for you next class. For now, you have the... and